Hey guys, OgreBarberian here, back for another in-depth character analysis. This time we are going to take a look at Killer Frost. As you can see, I have put some work into her. She's one of my favorites from the shows and comics. She has a special striker gear set, which means she's going to have a lot of intelligence, and unfortunately not a lot of survivability. However, she does gain some good survivability from her kit. Go ahead and take a look. So her basic attack, Ice Spear. Special damage to an enemy, 20% chance to stun the target if the target is stunned. This goes up to 25%, and while on the surface, it doesn't really look or sound all that interesting that it stuns the target if they're already stunned. It does, however, feed into her passive, which we'll get to later on. And then the legendary upgrade for this is 50% damage if target is stunned. So again, she likes to be on stun teams, so she can take advantage of her extra damage and extra cooldown reduction of her frozen solid. Her second move, stun and apply 2 speed downs and up to 30% turn meter down to an enemy. Upgrade for this is -1 cooldown because it's on a, I believe, 4 turn cooldown. But within her kit, she has a lot of ways to reduce that cooldown, so getting it past the 4 is pretty easy. Her third ability, Shatter. Special damage to an enemy. Apply 3 speed downs. Deal 15% of target's max health as damage if target is stunned. And again, this also cares about the character being stunned. 15% true damage is a pretty big deal. So, remove all shields from target is the legendary upgrade for this. So, you're going to remove all shields if you have this upgrade and deal at least 15% of their max health damage, true damage basically. So, it's a lot of damage there, especially if you're trying to eat through a really big tank or something. You know, somebody like Cyborg Superman is just going to crumble to this skill if he's stunned. And her passive, Heat Absorption. Passive ability, Killer Frost heals for up to 22% max health if an enemy is stunned. And then the first legendary upgrade for this is cooldown -1 on her freeze solid ability. And then the second upgrade is gain 4 intelligence ups if an enemy is stunned. So this is your primary way to reduce her cooldown for freeze solid, is to get other characters who can stun as well. It automatically reduces it to a 3 here, plus the ability itself, legendary, makes it like a 2, and then you can reduce it to basically every turn stunning somebody if you run her in a stun comp with enough stuns to get by, and continue to grant her intelligence ups because she's all special damage as well. And let's go ahead and take a look at some teams real quick. Alright, so this one is the Slow Down Special. It is entirely energy based, but Captain Cold as your leader, since he's the only one that has a leadership. He provides slowdowns on his passive. He also has a stun on his basic attack, depending on the number of slowdowns on the target, which will help reduce Killer Frost's cooldown. Clayface, we all know about Clayface at this point. Taunts to protect the team, gives them agility ups and invisibility. Applies slowdowns with all of his moves. So yeah, he provides a lot of slowdowns as well. And then Mirror Master, who is going to provide slowdowns with his passive, and then his second passive is going to proc his AoE special damage, nuke everybody, if, you know, on a percentage chance if everybody has a slowdown. So a lot of synergy here. Good solid team. Only downside is all energy. And this one is your stun comp special. So you've got Green Lantern, Hal Jordan as your leader. He has his Hammer Time, which can stun the target up to a 100% chance as long as he is shielded, which with him as the leader is he's starting with shields. Everybody's starting with shields. And then we have Vixen, who with her legendary Rhino Charge can stun the target if it's bleeding, which that move also applies bleeds. So she self-enables there, and that's on a 65% chance. And then we have Bane, who, as long as he is, I believe, mending, he can stun the target with his backbreaker. So you can get a lot of stuns off with this team and just completely ramp out Killer Frost to insane damage with her high intelligence and getting the intelligence ups from the stuns. And you're having a good bit of control with all those stuns. Alright, and this one is the heavily intelligence influenced team. Dr. Fate is your leader because I really like his leadership. Anybody that heals can trigger it, as long as it's not a passive or through mends, because mends are considered passive healing, essentially. But he also grants shields to the team, and then Zatanna can keep the team healthy underneath those shields. You have Harley Quinn with her ability to taunt and keep the team fairly healthy overall. And then Killer Frost, obviously. And she also applies, Harley also applies intelligence down, and Zatanna also applies intelligence down. Dr. Fate can apply intelligence up to the team when he uses his shield if you have that upgrade. So lots of intelligence up and down, and lots of special damage. That's basically the key here. And the last one that I have for you today is Wonder Woman, Princess of Themyscira, Killer Frost, Deathstroke, and Shazam. And the reason I went with this is because this is just an all-around good, solid control team. You got 3 tanks, plus Killer Frost can heal herself, so you're not worried about your team going down quickly. You've got Princess Themyscira, who's going to be applying the buff immunity, purging buffs, keeping your team clean of debuffs, granting turn meter, debuff immunity, and then so she's there just to control what goes on and off your team and what goes on and off the opponent's team. Killer Frost is there for her stun and some extra damage output. Deathstroke is there because he has silence built into a good chunk of his kit, along with turn meter down if he's at full health, and because he starts with those awareness, he is probably going to be at full health for a good chunk of the match. So 50% meter down is pretty good. And then, of course, Shazam, who has his 2-turn taunt that's on a 2-turn cooldown, so he'll be able to taunt a lot and keep everybody safe for the most part. And then he also has a stun on his legendary basic if he's taunting, so that can also fuel Killer Frost as well. So this is just all-around good, solid control team, so should get you the good mileage. And then one last thing before we go, I want to give a shout-out to Dead Fiesta from my alliance, Justice League of Reddit, for creating this awesome little logo that you see at the bottom there. It is a Reddit superhero, basically, but it is formatted to look like camo, because we all know I love camo. So, thanks to him. Leave a comment, like, subscribe. As always, enjoy and grind on.